On today's EMBN show, we talk about, do you ride for fun or do you ride for fitness?
And to help us answer that question, we have got professional e-biker all the way from Somerset, Joel Anderson.
Welcome, Joel, let's do it!
So we've dragged Joel Anderson in from the cold this week. In fact, we've actually had a question, guys, from Joe Bay, B16. EMBN, please do some content on the best winter cycle clothing. Well, I can see Sam Pilgrim has been out and about on the weekend.
Look at that.
What do you think about that clothing? That's quite, I'm not sure that's very suitable.
I don't know, Sam was, do you know Sam, Joel? Do you know him?
I don't know met Sam.
I would have thought you'd get on well with him. Because you've got a pretty rad style, as we will see soon.
Exactly.
And Sam's pretty rad, but that jacket isn't rad.
I think what is rad though is G Atherton's onesie, which he's been using to do uplifts on the weekend.
Yeah, look at this thing
the
here.
Enduro onesie.
If I could just learn to scroll your computer, Steve. I've shrunk it. Wait, viewers, it's all right. I've lost control of it. Thank God.
There you go.
Use it.
There's G Atherton on a park bench.
Joel, onesie, would you ever do it?
I think onesie's pretty good. You don't get the breeze up your back, so that's probably.
I actually
nice.
quite like it. I actually really like that. And G Atherton can pull off anything.
Look, the thing is, right, World Cup downhillers in the 1990s, or even today, they all ride these one-piece, those Dainese suits, do you remember?
Yeah, absolutely,
But if you're pedalling up, you're going to get pretty sweaty, I reckon.
Yeah, because it's like one of those. Do you know what the boxers right back in the day, like Muhammad Ali, they used to wear like rubber suits under their clothes that looked a lot like that, so they would sweat buckets. I think Joel's right. You get to the top of the hill and that, and you want to kill yourself.
How do you know? Where on earth did you get that comment from?
Oh, I'm a bit of a Muhammad Ali fan. You know, I was getting onto that. You know, I can start quoting him in a minute.
Moving on to Joel Anderson now. Joel did an incredible e-bike film recently called What's Going On? Or is it What Is Going On?
What is going on?
What is going on? Filmed in many locations in South Wales. It shows pretty much how fast and how stylish you can actually get on an e-bike. Joel, great film. What was the inspiration behind it?
So basically, Deity came at us with the idea of making a video, and we thought we wanted to make some waves and do it on the e-bike. Yeah. Because nobody had done a pan and zoom video, and of course I was going to use Tommy C.
Right. So what was out there then? What maybe you didn't like that was out there in terms of e-biking?
A lot of the companies put out videos that we thought really didn't show how fast and how agile an e-bike can be. We kind of thought they were pretty slow downhill, even though...
Well, I think you've tackled that question.
You've proved that works. Yes.
So we just wanted to try and go as fast as possible, basically, and try and make what I usually make, but on an e-bike.
Yeah.
Wow. And did you get sort of much... You know, did you get much flack from your mates for riding an e-bike? Because it's not like generally the done thing for the young.
To be honest,
racer.
face to face, when they're not on a keyboard, everyone wants to have a go and they love it. So they keyboard warriors not so much. They're happy to tell you what they think. But all my mates, they've all had a go and they all want one really.
They all love it. And you were saying to me earlier, you loved how that extra weight on the hill really brings you into the turns pretty fast.
We were saying that the sprung weight on the e-bikes are obviously just as light as a normal bike, but you've got the battery and the motor in the bottom.
Yeah.
So when you come into a rough section, it really does hold its own, and you can just
see that.
I mean, this comes back to the whole question of why do you ride a mountain bike, right? I mean, to me, to be an e-bike just feels like a mountain bike, except you do the uplift as well. So I mean, actually, I was going to ask you, Joel, is why do you ride mountain bikes?
Well, I live right at the bottom of downhill tracks, so I can get from my front door to the top of the downhill track in 9 minutes, which is pretty nice.
That's good.
So
that is good.
Yeah, so for me, I can just get out and not have to think about anything else and just go and tackle some routes and do some jumps. So
so that's it. You like routes, you like jumps.
Yeah.
I mean, like for me, like most of my career has been competitive, but I like that riding that getting into the technical terrain. Yeah. You just get engaged in it, don't you? Really.
But you do get lost in the climbs. You do like the climbs, especially on the e-bike now. Like so often we see you like looking up the hills.
Yeah.
So that is kind of dragging you up into more of the fitness side of things. But the only reason that's happening is because you're looking for the fun.
Exactly.
So the fun is dragging you to the fitness. Yeah. And same with you. 9 minutes of pain and then whack. So you've got a great hill to ride.
So that's the question, really. Is that the fitness? The the fitness side of mountain biking was a byproduct of just having a bloody good time.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's where mountain biking started, isn't it? It started about like going down a hill for fun. And I guess those guys probably had to like push those bikes up for quite a while before they could do that.
Do you push your bike uphill these days?
I do have to push
for fitness
occasionally. Definitely not for fitness. I usually drag myself up the hill. So I got my bike out in front and I'm lent on the seat, like just dragging myself.
So where does fitness lie in the grand scheme of things?
Dead last. Not interested at all. I literally do as little as possible to get up to the top of the hill and then have the fun on the way back down again.
The thing is, Mark, it comes back to this question. A lot of people say, I don't want to go over old ground, but like the whole thing about e-bikes for lazy people. Well, that's not the reason you ride a bike.
And it's getting boring, isn't it? It's
totally.
like we're getting over it so quickly. Like e-bikes only a few years ago felt like, oh God, they're for my dad. And now you've got people like Joel making them look so good.
Well, actually, Joel's dad does take his e-bike off him.
Yeah, but looking at Joel's dad's probably a lot younger than mine.
He's probably younger than us.
Yeah, probably. Probably. He might be. I'm just working that out. Yeah, anyway, moving on from that. Yeah, so they were originally for your dads, we thought, but now people like Joel making them look so good. Yeah. So many riders out there making them look like, just like, you know, the next steps of mountain biking.
Absolutely.
And making it look like a great time.
Yeah. Adam Britton. You can see him on his new Vitus Summit, absolutely shredding it, doing some big jumps. And at all comes, no negative comments. So I'm wondering, we've gone through all that negativity? We're actually now into fresh ground.
Oh, I think we have. I think, like you say, like the what did you call them? The keyboard
warriors.
The keyboard warriors. You know, are they really bike riders, or are they, you know, spending a lot of time in front of a
look
screen?
Look at those comments on Britton's.
Yeah, look at this. We've got one from Ryan Austin 83 says, "No mate, I've read the forums. Pretty sure you can't jump e-bikes. Don't know what you and Chopperfield are up to with your illusions."
Yeah.
Chopperfield comes back with Ryan Austin. "I never in my life thought these were a good idea until I got one." And Chopper now, you know, I mean,
I don't know Chopper. Do you know Chopper?
I know Chopper very, very well.
Right. Okay.
Yes, he's a very good friend of mine.
Well, he's actually got an e-bike now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so Lapierre, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, and he is honestly one of the most technically gifted riders I've ever come across. Yeah. So brilliant. See him in a skate park. It's incredible.
Really?
Yeah, and he'll be doing some great things.
I've never met Chopper.
I tell you what, Chopper's a great guy to check out. He's got a thing that he takes around schools called Star Rider, where he teaches kids all about riding bikes, but getting into learning skills in a fun way. So he teaches them skids and really cool stuff. And he's a great guy.
It comes all back to skills, doesn't it? Skills and skids or whatever.
Yeah,
that's the way you do it, right?
Yeah. Great fun.
That's kind of your career. It's like skids, isn't it?
Yeah.
What do? Try and stop at corners and fail.
Yeah.
Get another one.
Talking about fun and skills on a bike, Bernard Kerr. Have you seen his recent video on his pivot?
I've seen his video.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's unbelievable, isn't he?
Ridiculous.
Yeah, he's unbelievable.
You know, like so many views and like 300 comments on this one video alone and no negativity.
Can you imagine what it'd be like if you had 300 people talk to you? Oh, it'd be so nice to have that many friends. Can't find one person to chat to me.
Did you see that video that Bernard did where he's doing all kinds of nonsense? Side saddle, feet on the bars.
Absolute steezer, isn't he, really?
Steezer. Who's your inspiration, Joel? Like, is it like, because Bernard's actually, you know, he's sort of like the all-rounder, and then there's the sort of, you know, I'm thinking maybe like Brendan Fairclough. He's a bit of an all-rounder. But what's your inspiration?
I think Nico Vink's the man.
Yeah?
Because he'll go and do big jumps and big whips and that, but then have you ever seen him ride in a skate park?
No, I've not. I haven't. No.
360 manuals back into the quarter pipe again.
Yeah. Oh, nice. That's actually called a 540 tyre tap. But, you know, don't want to pull you up on that. But
thanks for that.
Okay, Tech of the Week, and it's a little bit like old versus new here, because look at this photo we've got from Max.
It's a beauty.
This is his homemade e-bike versus like what Specialized can do.
Joel, you know? First thoughts?
It's horrible.
The homemade one is a beast, isn't it? I bet that weighs a bit.
I think it looks like it's been whittled out of that log behind it. It's so disgusting. And I was wondering if those wings at the side, do they actually go up 90 degrees and it flies? It's like chitty chitty bang bang.
I can see you thinking there, mine.
The smallest crosswind is taking your bike underneath you.
I guess you wouldn't be using that on jumps then, Joel?
Not a fan, no.
No, but I wonder what it works like. I bet it goes well. I bet it does go
But you know, here's a classic example of someone who wanted to make the switch across to e-biking, and yeah, they've bought the Bafang motor there. I think that's a Bafang BBS HD motor. They come, I think that motor's possibly, they come between 250 watts up to 750 watts. And we've actually got a video which looks at aftermarket mid-drive motors coming up very soon. But I think, yeah, it does look a little bit clunky, but the thing with Bafang, right, it's a massive, massive e-bike motor maker. So Bafang have come out with a new integrated motor, integrated battery called the M800, and I think this is super neat. Obviously, they're going to be, within the next 12 months, they will definitely be one of the big players in the e-bike business, I think, especially with that motor.
That looks a little bit more neat, doesn't it? That's a bit more. That's a bit more like it, yeah.
But it's, you know, there's still those, if people cannot afford to, you know, to go for the complete bike, then an aftermarket motor, and you can get them for about £400. Yeah. I think it's a good transitionary bike to have, right?
Yeah. And I tell you what, I bet that bike that Max has built up, you know, I bet it works really, really well. It's not pretty, but I bet it works good.
Meanwhile, back in Germany, now this is a brand we had on the show earlier in the year, Nerica. Now this is a full carbon complete bike. Martin's shaking his head. What are you shaking your head for, Martin?
That's fucking horrible.
It looks like one of those concepts that never actually happens, doesn't it?
It's happened! They've done it! They've actually made it!
For good reason. That shouldn't have happened. Is that a real thing, or is that like a 3D
No, that's
simulation?
real.
That's horrible. It's just horrible. There's no point making a bike. Bikes aren't meant to look horrible. That one looks disgusting. I'll have a nightmare about that tonight.
Stocks in Eureka.
I won't be able to sleep. I'll wake up in the middle of the night like this. Eureka! Horrible. No.
Great.
No.
Okay, we'll leave it at that then. Oh, we've got to put that in. Mark, do you know what? I think that's a little bit mean about Nerica.
Sorry, that's honest.
Honestly, €1,000 for that bike. Complete bike for €1,000.
Okay, it's your money. It's up to you. It's up to you.
Anyway,
I'm not spending my money.
When it comes to money, which, whilst we're on the subject of affordability, because that's the thing, right? Affordability of these e-bikes.
What most people want, yeah.
But your mates, I mean, can they afford e-bikes?
They'd much rather spend £5 on a downer bike, I think.
Oh, so they would spend that much money?
Yeah, but they'd rather spend on a downer bike.
At the moment?
Yeah, until they're convinced otherwise.
How long is it going to take them to get convinced?
Well, they've all had one ride on my bike and they're all pretty convinced. I don't know if you should say that loud.
Yeah. That's an interesting point though, right?
It really is, yeah.
Acceptance. How long before the acceptance?
But that is one of the things I think that's going to hold e-bikes back is the price. Because when people wanted to get into mountain biking originally, the price barrier wasn't anything like it is now.
But it was, Martin, because when I used to clean cars for a living, right? I think my wage was like £6,000 a year. I'd spend £2,000 on a trials bike.
Trials bike, yeah, but a motorcycle.
Yeah, but I'd spend like a quarter of my wages on a trials bike.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the original mountain bikes.
Okay,
I mean, they weren't
I sold my trials bike, right, to buy 2 mountain bikes. Yeah. I spent 1,200 quid.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a lot. That's a big chunk of my salary.
In 1950, when you were young, that was a lot of money. I get it. But I do think that there's something about that cost on the e-bikes is when that starts coming down, it's going to really make a difference.
However, do you know Steve the Decorator? Do you know Steve the Decorator?
I don't know Steve, no.
Okay, but Steve does decorating around here.
What about John the Handyman?
He's not John the Handyman, is he?
Never met John the Handyman.
Weird. We know him.
Anyway. Listen, Steve the Decorator, he's just bought this Specialized Levo off eBay. I won't tell you how much for. He actually bought the frame only. And honestly, we're gonna
he told me about this the other day.
We're going to be doing a video on this very soon. But all I can tell you is this bike, which you see on the screen right now, is definitely affordable.
Right, climb of the week, Steve's favourite bit. You love this, don't you? And we've got one in from Simon in Holland.
Not known for his climbs?
No, it's not known for his climbs. Check this out, Joel. Talk us through it.
Pops a little wheelie.
Great.
He's spinning her up, ready to go. He's gone for the grippy bit, I think.
Yes. Look, I love that.
First one's fine.
Do you know what gets...
Nothing changes, just sits in. It's brilliant, isn't it?
So what gets me is that, you know what, on the flattest places on earth, this man is going in search of climbs in Holland on his e-bike.
So good. Well, you'd probably be doubling back down that, wouldn't you?
Oh, there he comes.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
I thought he was going to do it.
Yeah.
That is a great climb, though. Really, really good.
Motorway underpasses, maybe another new location for e-biking.
You know what, as a trials rider, right, I spent a lot of time under motorway underpasses because they've always got incredible, like, you know, like, architecture under there. There's great big concrete slabs and great big concrete slopes just like that one. Brilliant places to ride.
Do you know when you're going down the motorway now, do you still look for these?
Constantly.
Do you do that?
I see jumps on hills, you know, like you have the little points and you're like, you could jump from there to there and you're, oh wait, that's...
And you know, rolling bushes, as you're going down the road and you see rolling bushes and you think, God, if you just turn them at sort of concrete or mud, you could hang on, I haven't finished. And that's it. That's the end. That was a bush I saw this morning.
It shows so how obsessed we are with mountain biking. And like when you talk about fitness, do you ever go down the road talking about fitness? No, you don't. You go looking for features. Simple as that.
I'd love to sweat it out on this climb for 2 hours.
Yeah, I'd love to feel my heart smashing out of my chest.
In the comments this week, lots of great feedback on the spinning versus grinding video we did.
Okay, this one here from Exy saying, if you keep your bike in eco, grinding will actually save power as the motor is limited by torque. So for Shimano, that's 30 Newton meters, which at 50 RPM will draw about 160 watts out of the battery, while at 95 RPM will draw 300 watts.
So, are you guys telling me people go uphill not on turbo?
You telling me you do?
Every second of my ride.
That's what it's for, right?
Yeah.
That's what it's for.
And when you're going up in turbo, are you spinning?
I'm letting the motor do everything and I'm gradually spinning my feet.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you lazy git. I was under the impression, anyway, I think it comes back, what we're talking about here is the fact, we're not talking about spinning for 2 hours at a time on your e-bike, we're talking about technical climbs where you should be similar to kind of enable you to quickly change direction or react to things that are happening on the trail. Whereas if you're in a big, you're a big heavy old gear, you can't.
Yeah. And you're a big fan of that. I mean, you're forever like correcting on those climbs trial style.
But we're going to come back to you on that. Next up from Wrath of the Gods, the problem with spinning fast is cardio. If your cardio gets too high, you may not be as endurant as you'd want. Lactic acid will start getting in the muscles if you reach anaerobic state, or even VO2 max. But yeah, I guess it may be different on e-bike. Well, yes, it is. It comes back to what I said again. We're not actually spinning these bikes for 2 hours at a time. You tend to, if you're on a big, a long straight, or you're on a fire or something like that, yes, you probably will be grinding away in a heavy gear. But
can I ask a question, right, for the dummy here, who's like, how do I put this? Like, don't pedal often. When you're on an e-bike and you're climbing, right?
Yeah.
So when you're spinning fast, are you sort of with the motor at that point, or is it when you're spinning slow, the motor's doing the work? Which way round is it?
You're always with the motor. You work with the motor constantly, and you just up and down the gears. What I'm trying to say is you don't expect the motor to do everything. You know, there's a huge amount of leg work involved in an e-bike, isn't there?
But Joel's suggesting that he's found a way to almost get the most out of the motor. So how are you doing that? You're pedaling really slow.
You have to sacrifice that you're only going to be out for about 2.5 hours.
Right.
But
you're
2.5 hours?
Yeah, that's the amount.
Turbo?
That's the amount turbo will last.
Get out of town. 2.5 hours in turbo.
Yeah, because I'm riding downhill a lot.
Steve's face. No.
I can't get 2.5 hours. I mean, how many feet of climbing is that?
Yeah, but his bike's so excited by the time it's got to the bottom of the hill when he's ridden it. It's all like, it's gained battery.
Right. Okay, let's move on to Barry Corning.
Barry Corning is saying spinner. He is often 105 RPM on the road bike, and grinding on an eMTB would be too much like riding a non-eMTB.
Well said.
Keep the motor at the RPM it works best at. Yes.
Exactly.
You're on the money there, Joel, right?
Exactly.
That's the way. That's the way to do it.
Okay, it's time for the plastic spinning globe.
Here we go.
Any trips this year? This Joel coming up?
Oh, I've got a few, but none I can talk about.
Okay, why not? Yeah, this is from Ryan. That looks like Mexico to me, Martin.
It's not Mexico, it's New Zealand.
Right.
New Zealand.
And this is a 96 kilometre 2-day ride. I like the idea of a bit of e-packing, do you?
Oh yeah, that seems like a really great way to use an e-bike.
135 kilograms.
Oh, whoa! God. Only thing is though, Harry, what happens when you run out of battery? I guess you've got to find spots to keep recharging.
Coffee shops, restaurants.
What's the recharge time on a Trek? Whatever
2
that
hours.
is. 2 hours.
An FS7.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's all right.
That's not coffee and cake.
Yeah, it's all right.
Easy.
It's not too bad. Not
easy.
too bad.
Easy.
Yeah.
In the bike vault.
Right.
In the
Here
bike
we go.
vault.
Right.
I've got some beauties near for you this week, Martin.
Joel, you wait till you get in the bike vault. It's amazing in here. It's amazing. It's one of the best places in the world. Name. Right. Here we go.
There we go, into the bike vault.
Right, here we go. We're in the bike vault, Joel. This is how it works. It's basically nice, not super nice. Okay.
Well, this one's
Just
10 out of 10 because it's the correct brand.
You mustn't be biased, Joel. I know you ride for Specialised, but...
This is James's Specialised.
Oh, we didn't mention. Did we mention that Joel rides for Specialised?
Well, I mean, we have now. He does ride, and Deity, of course.
Yeah.
Great support, and I've helped you made that video.
And Goodyear?
Yeah, Goodyear, Stans, Loose Riders,
Right.
and Melon Optics.
Nice. Good sponsors. And are they good to you? You've got a good year ahead.
Yeah, they're good to me.
Like you say, you can't tell us about your projects, but
But you will tell us when the time comes.
Oh, of course.
Perfect.
And it'll be as many as possible will be on an e-bike.
Really?
Yeah,
There we
because
go.
I don't have to pedal back up again.
Perfect.
So are you suggesting this is a super nice then?
Yeah. 100%.
Okay, super nice from James.
Yeah.
For James from Joel. This is in Fife in Scotland.
Hell of a view as well. Look at that.
Hell of a
It's
view.
Great,
great.
Hell of a
great
view.
looking place. Jan's Scotty Genius.
Yeah.
What they like to ride, Steve? Good. You're in
Really,
ones?
really nice bike. I mean, I actually prefer the 120 bike to the Genius because,
okay.
but you know, it's still I think that's a.
Joel, you liking that one?
It's a very moody shot, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's got some grit about it.
I think I like the fact that it's almost desaturated. I like the feel to it.
Should we go super nice on that? Super
I think
nice.
so, yeah,
Super
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Nice.
Do you need an e-bike in Stockholm though?
That's not. It's not for us to decide those questions,
It's a good
Joel.
point. It's a good point. Anthony's. What is this? This is an Easy Motion Exion jumper.
I never heard of that.
I've never seen that one before. It's
Comes
nice.
back to the affordability. Now that's not a
Yeah,
massive
that's
expensive
in the
bike.
affordable bracket. This is in Kelowna in BC, Canada. Kelowna, sorry.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Nice.
It's
Next
Next
Ooh,
up.
what does that say?
It's a Trek Powerflies. Ronald.
Minchmore, Scottish Borders. Is this? Are you suggesting that you guys are on like a mountain rescue team or on e-bikes?
Is that what it is?
Is that what it says?
That what it is? Got passed by these guys and they caught up with me. I know you featured my work before, but I think the themes, the equivalent elsewhere, deserve recognition. I don't know. I think they're just in the background.
Okay, in the background.
They got an uplift behind him there.
It's nice.
Josh is busy, man, isn't he? Look,
Nice.
flat out.
Nice. That's a nice.
Scrolling Instagram.
Moving
Oh,
on.
look at that. That's got to be chili.
No, Gerardo.
Yes, it is chili.
Gerardo in Chile with his Canevo, but he's
man.
like, I can't see the bike. What's the point?
It is super nice though, isn't it? Look at that bike.
No, you're just biased.
Too biased.
You're biased.
You have to look on a technicality here. That bike needs to be 90 degrees to see what on earth
you
it
can't
is.
get a super nice, and that would have got one.
It would, definitely.
Especially with Joel.
Hey, look at the blue sky.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
It's nice.
That blue is unreal, isn't it?
It is.
Isn't it?
It
Yeah.
is. It's actually a really good shot. I'm sort of feeling a super nice at this point.
It's a good.
Should we upgrade?
There's a good feel to it. Is he going to puncture?
But I tell you what, if you give that a super nice, all the precedents are out the window.
Well, it's a nice on default then.
It's nice.
Yeah, right. Oh, Mark.
Look at the shot.
Oh, look.
Hit the
Mark's
bar,
going
hit the bar, super nice.
I did it deliberately.
Pull it down. Go on.
Super
pull it-
nice.
Super nice.
Oh, you're a tricky one to work with.
And as for these bikes, right, so super nice dog, and these are...
You see, I put this in because I know you don't like two bikes. I don't know you like dogs.
Yeah. But I like the dogs. Like, super nice on the dogs.
The thing is, you can't give it a super nice because the dog's not even looking at us. The dog's looking at the view, but maybe the dogs are the right idea.
Yeah, but he's got I'll tell you what, I know that dog, right? And he's got awful facial injuries. And if he looked back this way, we wouldn't give him a super nice. So he had to look away to get the super nice. That's what's happened there.
That dog must be so tired. Can you imagine trying to keep up with an e-bike?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just running constantly.
That is a fit dog.
Yeah.
Well, do you know what we did? We did the trip with Hannah Barnes into the wilderness in Scotland. With Lumi, we actually carried the dog quarter of the way. No word of a lie, we carried the dog.
That's amazing. Well, the bikes are nice, the dogs are super nice. On balance, I'd say it's nice.
Moving on.
Nice.
Ooh.
Oh, yes.
Moody.
That is rad.
T-side. Who is it?
It is Chris's Specialised Kenevo. Has he jazzed that up, or have they brought that
Troy Lee Kenevo, right?
Troy Lee, yeah.
That is rad, isn't it?
Look at the light in the background.
That cloud's unreal, isn't it?
Super nice.
Super nice.
He would moan about that
Super
bike.
nice,
That is awesome.
And that's it, we're at the bike
We're
vault.
at the bike vault. We're out. That's it for this week on the bike vault. Shame. I was enjoying that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So there you go.
If you want to get your bike in the bike vault, then go to the uploader where you can upload all of your stuff you've been getting up to, whether it be a bike vault shot or you want to show us one of your climbs of the week or anything like that. Go to the EMBN uploader and stick it in there. Get involved.
Yeah. Joel, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
I'm looking forward to what adventures you're going to be going on in your e-bike this year.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Are we talking international trips?
If I can get that battery on a postage, maybe.
That's a subject.
There's a video there.
Check out. In the meantime, if you want to see some adventures which we've done recently, check out the Electric Mountain, where we go on top of and through a mountain that makes electricity. And that's about it. Mark, thanks for that.
It's been a great show. Great having Joel in, and yeah, make sure you check out that video because it's brilliant. Hit the old globe to subscribe, and don't forget to give us a thumbs up like before you go.